Welcome back to Smoky Ribs. I'm Russ Jones. For the past 28 days, I've had a dry aging process going on a whole ribeye inside my refrigerator out in the garage. Can't wait to see the results. I'm going to show you step by step how I did this and what I did it in. Brand new product, and it's awesome. We'll be right back. All right, before we look at the results of this 28-day age, I want to show you quickly a time-lapse video that I did of the entire process inside the refrigerator using a GoPro mounted to this equipment that I'm going to show you very, very soon. And it's going to show you from the raw state all the way to 28 days later how much moisture it loses and the crust that develops, the protective crust. So let's go ahead and roll that, and I'll explain week 1, week 2, and what's going on. All right, here in week 1, you can visually see the great amount of shrinkage in this whole ribeye as the moisture is being extracted from the meat, as well as early stages of it developing a crust. Now here in week 2, you will see even more shrinkage and more developing of the crust. The biggest percentage of moisture will be extracted from the meat in the first 10 days of dry aging. During week 3 and 4, most of the moisture has been extracted. You will still notice some shrinkage even in those last 2 weeks. The crust is developing really nice, and what's happening on the inside is enzymes are working overtime tenderizing this meat. Going to make for very tender, flavorful meat. So here it is. This is the ribeye. When I bought this ribeye was around 17 inches long. There's only 14 inches right in here, and you have got to leave airflow all the way around this thing, so I didn't want it hitting the sides. So I allowed about a ½ inch on each side here. And what I've done with the remainder of it is I cut it up into steaks, and we cooked it that evening. And I really want to just do like a comparison. Now keep in mind that was 28 days ago. Cooked them up, did a taste test. Tastes like any old ordinary steak, nothing special. It's choice, it's not prime. It was tender, it was flavorful, but I wanted to keep that locked into my mind to where today when I experience one of these cut from the same meat, I'll be able to see the difference in what the dry aging process really does to meat. So now let me show you a little bit about this steak ager right here. Right here on top, you'll notice a readout. This is actually a brain. This is a computer that controls this box. This controls humidity. It has a exhaust fan here with a charcoal filter here, and it expels moisture as it needs to. It tries to maintain a certain level in there. So that worked really good. Inside the unit, you can't see it now because I don't have it plugged in. There is a germicidal light that helps bacteria from growing and rotting your meat. And by the way, there is absolutely no smell on this thing. None. I got up close and personal a few minutes ago. Cannot smell any smell. So I'm thinking we did really, really well with this. But it's a real cool unit. It allows anybody to take beef and dry age it. What you'll get with this unit, you'll of course get the little power pack and an extension cord, and you will run this through your door gasket out your refrigerator, plug it in a wall, you're up and running. There's no buttons to push, there's nothing to set up, it's all fully automatic. Also along with that, you'll receive this burlap sack. This is a salt satchel. It's got a little opening here, and I took a funnel and I funneled in the salt that they supplied with this. I believe it was a white Himalayan salt, but any crystal type rock salt would work as long as it's salt. And you lay this in the bottom before you put your rack and put your meat in. And I took mine out after 5 days. And what it does is those critical first few days, it helps absorb a lot of moisture and help out the fan and the unit do its job. After about 5-7 days, you can pull it out of there. You don't have to. You can leave it in there through the duration if you want to. If you want to put this in there and forget it for 28 days, just close the door, that's fine. Now, like I said, this will work in any refrigerator, and that's why it's encapsulated in its own little box here, because when you open the refrigerator, grab a beer or milk or whatever, you're not going to be really rushing in a lot of humidity on this because it's protected. Here is the plexiglass door. This does not come with this. This is the GoPro mount that I use to document the time lapse. This will be coming off of here soon. So that is a steak ager. I'm really impressed. We're getting ready to cut into the steak. We're going to see what the inside looks like. For the price, man, this is so affordable. I think it retails for $159. And by the way, this is not the end of it. They're currently working on an app to where this will be Bluetooth enabled, and they're also going to be producing larger models. In my opinion, this is just perfect for most refrigerators. It's not going to take up a lot of space. Like I said, it does come with 2 racks. So if you bought the whole ribeye, my option would have been, if I wanted it all dry aged, I could have cut it in half, put half on the bottom, half on the top. Or I could have cut them in half and stood them up on the bottom rack. Multiple ways of doing it without having to sacrifice any of the meat. So let's go ahead and pull this out, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Time to remove this bad boy. There is absolutely nothing appealing looking about this in this state unless you enjoy dry aging, and you'll know that's really beautiful. So let's take a knife. I'm going to start removing this crust. I'm going to cut the ends off, and we're going to take a look at what the inside looks like. Alright, so here's our steaks, and as you can see, they're all cut somewhere between about 1.25 to 2 inches. Looks really good on the inside. I'm really happy with that. Absolutely no smell whatsoever. I think we did good. Only one way to find out, that's to get them out there on the grill. Now if you notice, the fat is really pronounced on these now, but you got to keep in mind how much this is shrank, not just this way, but all the way around. But the meat is what we're after, and that's the reason I went a little thick with these to where everybody's got a good portion. Next time I'm going to try prime, and I want to do a comparison with choice and prime and see if it's worth the extra money. Going to go out here, fire up the grill. We'll meet you outside. Alright, it's time to cook these bad boys up and see what we got. Today I'm using my Napoleon Rodeo kettle grill. Going to be perfect for searing these off. Also have a set of grill grates here on top. I did salt and pepper both sides of these right before coming out here. After about the 2-minute mark, I'm going to turn these about 90 degrees for some cross hash marks on the bottom, and go another 2 minutes. We're going to go 4 minutes total on each side with these, shooting for kind of a medium rare. A dry steak, from my understanding, is something that you really don't want to overcook. It's already had so much moisture pulled out of it, but if done correctly, it becomes very moist. Also, the way I trimmed all that crust off the outside is a whole ribeye. You could also go ahead and slice these up into individual steaks, and it makes it a little bit easier taking that crust off the individual steak. You can just take your knife and trim around it. All right, now as I mentioned earlier, I took some of the same ribeye when it was fresh, cooked steaks, tasted it. It's basically like any, steak you get in just your average restaurant. It tastes good, not super tender, but good flavor, tender enough. It's ribeye. And like I said, this is choice, this is not prime. I want to try this on prime and compare it to choice. So now I'm going to go ahead and take a bite of this and see what we got on the inside and where it counts. That'd be flavor. It's cutting really well, and this is not a sharp knife, just your typical steak knife. And you can see I've got about what I wanted. I've got a nice medium to medium rare in the middle. And that's another thing about dry aging. You will not see blood when you cut into meat. If it's rare even, you will not see blood pour out. All right, here we go. Oh, that was an instant That's good. Tender. So much better. I would not think that that came from the same steak I had 28 days ago. No comparison. And I know what goes good on it. This is Epicurean black truffle butter I got from Low Bells of New York on my Valentine's video. It don't need it, I promise you. It don't need anything. But this is some really good butter, compound butter. Black truffles from Italy. I would definitely check out this steak ager if you're interested in doing your own steak aging at home. Completely safe, great results, real easy to do. Until next time, Smoky Ribs.